Welcome to the Chamber Chat, your source for everything Danville and business topics that matter to you. We hope you enjoy the show. Chamber Chat. Chamber Chat.
Welcome to the Chamber Chat. We are excited. I'm Kelly.
I'm Jocelyn.
And today we have Yolanda with us from Sycamore Services.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Yolanda. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you ladies?
Wonderful. Wonderful. This is a great way to start our Monday.
I know, this is fun. We've never done a Monday morning.
I know. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Yolanda, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I am the CEO at Sycamore Services, and Sycamore Services is headquartered here in Hendricks County, originated here in Danville. This is our 65th year anniversary.
Wow.
So from being incorporated. So it's a pretty big deal for us.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So 65 years. So before that, we were Opportunity Cottage, and certainly supporting and serving not only children with disabilities, but youth and adults as well.
So tell us a little bit about Sycamore Services. For people that don't know what Sycamore Services is and what you guys do, tell us a little bit about that.
So some of the programs that we provide for children, I'll start there, is our Children's Services, which is First Steps or includes First Steps. And that is physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech, language pathology, and developmental therapy for kiddos, generally toddlers, infants even, who are trying to meet their milestones. From there, we also provide ABA services. So this would be specific to children who have a diagnosis of autism and who need that level of support, or even a diagnosis of autism. So if you know of someone who is interested or who maybe suspects that autism might be a diagnosis, we have a diagnostician that can help with that, and pretty quickly, within a week or two. From there, we support youth in school systems, so age 14 to 22, which in Indiana, that's when students are aging out of our school systems. And this would be for students who have an IEP or a 504 plan, so some kind of diagnosis. And our team is there to support the student and the school with that student to be able to understand what happens after high school. So in my experience, a lot of times families, they'll call that just conversationally the benefit cliff. So, my son or daughter had been going to school Monday through Friday, but now that he or she is a senior, now what's going to happen? So kind of planning for what that will be. And that could be post-secondary school. It could be employment. It could be supports and services beyond that. So we just kind of help with students in exploring and discovering what's going to be best aligned with their strengths. And then certainly for the adult population, it's the whole array of services. It's specifically employment. So employment is the one service that is in all 37 counties that Sycamore Services is providing supports within. And just last year, we got over 1,000 people jobs. So, which is pretty amazing, actually. So
that is amazing.
It is. So, and I don't know, that was a record for us at Sycamore Services, and really the work of an amazing team. And in addition to employment supports, we're there to support individuals residentially. So because individuals with disabilities may have potentially limited income, could be Social Security disability income or SSI, generally speaking, sometimes there's a need for affordable housing. So Sycamore has gotten involved in housing projects to be able really to assure that individuals we're supporting have the opportunity to be as independent as possible within the residential setting. And we could support someone 24/7 if that's what's needed. Many times it could just be a drop-in, right? So, just checking to make sure they got their dinner prepped or ready for the next day. And then we can kind of bop out and then head to another person, if you will, to support another person. We also provide recreation therapy, which is a huge fun way to not only work on individual goals, but do it in a fun way. A lot of times, like just physical things are included with that, or music, or all of the above. So that's also a great opportunity. We also provide day services. So generally speaking, this could be Monday through Friday during the daytime, although we do have some evening and weekend opportunities there. But really just working on the individual's goals, whatever that could be. might be social, or it could be communication, behavioral kinds of goals that are happening. And that is where our new art studio just opened up just a few weeks ago. So in our day services location, which we're super excited about.
So talk about the art studio, because that is new.
It is.
And there might be more coming along with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the state of Indiana had sunset a particular program that we were running out of the Danville location. And when they did that, it kind of, I think, brought an opportunity to us to be able to say, well, how can we continue to support individuals, even though things are kind of changing in the landscape in which we're providing services. And this came to be an opportunity to discuss how can we really create a creative space for individuals that can be a part of the community, can be collaborative, as well as teaching skills, right? So we translate, they can be transferable skills, such as we're still working in a team, even though we're working on art, we still have a project deadline, that we may be creating for the community or an event, but really just having a lot of fun with it. And it's really where you can see someone's hopes and dreams kind of coming out on canvas, or coming out in what they're building, or their personality and their humor. They may not be able to really share verbally or communicate like you or I would, but this is a way in which they can communicate. And so it really just gives just a bright light for the people that we're supporting through that studio. So I'm excited about the opportunities. We've already had conversations with local, sort of the Danville Rotary is one example. They have a porch fest that goes on. This will be their second year to do that. So we've asked to see if we can do the poster for that. There's also some local parades in Hendricks County. So we're asking to see if we can sort of work with other businesses to create their float. We have space. We have, the time and the individuals, and really kind of the fun sort of atmosphere to be able to do something cool there. So how can we kind of utilize the art studio in ways that are external, and really trying to highlight and put a bright light on people with disabilities in our community.
Very cool.
Yeah. So excited about that. And you asked, how is it going to grow? It's here in Danville, and I just got a message on Friday that our Indy South location on Hannah Avenue is opening theirs as well. So we have several different day service locations. So now we'll have it in 2, and it will continue to grow in our other locations.
How does a family typically find you? Is it through First Steps, that first enrollment, or is it later on? I mean, how do families find you guys?
It's a good question. I think that each family's journey is unique. It could be through sort of the lifespan for an individual if they were involved in First Steps or ABA, and kind of going through that timeline. It could also be maybe they moved to Indiana, as an adult, for example, where their child may be an adult, and then it could be as simple as a Google search. So we're really intentional about our online presence as well. We are a chapter of the ARC of Indiana. So if a family is calling the ARC of Indiana, and they say, hey, this is my geography, then they can point in this area. We're also a member of INARF, which is the Indiana Association for Rehabilitative Facilities, which is our state trade association. So the same kind of goes if there's a family who's interested in services, and if they're reaching out to our state trade association, they also would point in this area. But honestly, I think it's just word of mouth, where if there's a family who has a need, or a family member with a need, then they're asking their neighbors, the people that they go to their place of worship with, or coworkers, to say, where do I go? My son or daughter is having this challenge. And or even if it's the individual themselves, to say, hey, I'm needing some help or support. And really having that word of mouth is really important. So awareness for what we do and how we do it is super important because of that.
Do you guys offer support services for families?
We do. So it could be family training.
Okay.
So, for example, in our ABA facility, our board certified behavior analysts also can do some training with parents, so that child is best supported in the home, as well as in a facility, if you will, or in the school, if we're working with the school. We also provide just opportunities for families to just come and be a part of whatever the services that their loved one may be receiving. I've seen it that families would come in to volunteer, or in some cases, families are donating, whether it be dollars or time, to be able to work on whatever may be occurring with their loved one. So.
Great. Okay. So we're just talking about families. Can you share a specific story of an impact that you guys have had on families and individuals?
Yes, I can. So I was just talking with a team member of ours in our employment services team, and we were working with an older adult and getting their first job, and that was going really well. And in fact, in this family, there's also a younger sibling who also has a diagnosis of autism. And so while we're in there working with the family and the individual to get employment, we find out that there's this sibling who's not receiving services, but clearly would benefit from additional services. So it was just a conversation with mom and to be able to share, hey, if you didn't know, then there are these other opportunities, and she did not. And so she said, oh, I had no idea that this is an area that you guys even worked with youth of this age. We certainly do. And so just being able to connect, and this happens to be 2 children in this household, and just kind of retouching base. Things are going well with the job. The younger sibling is now involved in our pre-ETS program, which is the one in school. And the mom in this case is just ecstatic about how things are going for both of her kiddos. And so it's just really being able to see how those goals and that progress is made, even when there are some challenges that are to be overcome. And I see it that families a lot of times just need someone to come alongside, right? That journey, just to be able to say, hey, have you thought about this? And because it can be really overwhelming and really stressful to navigate our system, quite frankly. And so to have some professionals kind of coming alongside to say, you might consider this, or you could think about this, you might ask this question, I think is really, really helpful for parents, especially to be able to navigate what can be a really challenging landscape. So, yeah.
Are there any services, initiatives, or partnerships that are coming up that you're excited about or want to talk about?
Yeah, so I'm excited about some events that we have coming up. So March is Disability Awareness Month. So this is something that we celebrate all month long. And I think that we have several colleagues, myself included, to be able to go to local civic organizations and just share about what we do. So that because if people don't know, then they don't connect. And that's really kind of step one, is to make sure that folks are aware of the supports and services that we provide and the connections that we can help make. So March is kind of packed full with that. In January, we had the film crew for the National Public Television crew come out, and they had recorded for All Access with Andy Garcia in January. So that actually is going to be aired sometime in April. I don't have the date, which is Autism Acceptance Month. So we're excited about that and how that can really put us on the national platform to really kind of share how our impact is applying to our community, Central and Southern Indiana. Some other things that we have coming up is June 12th, mark your calendar. That's a Friday at Hickory Hall Polo Club. And so we are actually doing the polo event there with the Danville Rotary. And this is really just a fundraiser for actually both entities. I think we have different purposes for the fundraising as far as where those dollars will go, but it's really kind of just a fun family night. If you've not been, you should totally go. It's so much fun.
It's so amazing.
Yeah.
And it's so weird to think, you see polo on movies,
Yeah, I don't even know
but then you go and it's up in Whitestown and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
It's a really fun. And is it the cost? Is it like per carload still?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's by carload. You can go up, tailgate. It is so much fun.
So I should just pack in all my friends and go.
Yes.
You should. Yes. It's $40 per carload, and then you can bring whatever food that you would like and drinks that you would like, and it really is a family oriented thing. And it's just, I love Hickory Hall Polo Club for doing this. Every Friday is dedicated to nonprofits through like a portion of their season, and it's a legitimate polo game on the national level, and it's really fun to be a part of that. So we're excited about that.
You did get to go out and stomp the divots too.
Yes, that's right.
What?
You get to go out and stomp the divots.
What is
Have you ever seen Pretty Woman?
You definitely need to Google divot stomping.
Wait, like when you hit a golf ball and then there's a rough patch in the ground? And then you
No. So polo, it's on horses.
I know that.
Okay,
and you're hitting something, right?
Right.
You hit a ball.
The horses, when they run, they make divots in the ground.
Oh.
And so anyway,
okay.
so in the intermission, I don't even know, it's between I think they're quarters, right? Aren't they quarters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they're quarters.
You go out and you step on the divots to flatten them out.
Okay, so
It's
I
okay.
need to just experience more of the world, apparently.
You do. And after the game, we're going to do a horse race, so with toy horses, and we did this last year too, and of course the kids love it. But really, the funniest part was when the adults got out there. So by the end of the day, there may or may not be some drinking, and so it's just kind of fun to kind of see just grown people just be competitive on a toy horse.
That's awesome.
It's a lot of fun too.
Do you have pre-sale tickets available online?
I think we will. I don't know if we do quite yet. We just got our date within the last week.
Okay.
So June 12th, but certainly www.sycamoreservices.com. Pop on there to kind of keep up to date on things that are going on.
Yeah, super excited.
Yeah.
I think we should definitely go.
Yeah.
I love
I feel like I need to go. I feel weird for not knowing what's about.
I feel like that you've not seen Pretty Woman.
That's one with Julia Roberts, right?
Yes.
It is.
And that guy with the gray hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've probably seen it. I just fell asleep or something. Because I don't remember.
So what ways can our community better support people?
Certainly supporting Sycamore Services is one way to do it. But I think even beyond that, it's just being cognizant of how we're talking about people. Generally, talking about people with the people first sort of language. And so it's a person with autism rather than an autistic person, right? So language matters, words matter, and just being sensitive to that. I also think just be cognizant of, sort of our environment and advocate for things that can really just better our community for the totality, right? So if it's even a ramp that's going into a local business that it may be an old building and maybe it's difficult for them to be able to afford that, but to kind of think of it, it's not only a person with a wheelchair who might need a ramp, but it's also like a family with a stroller who has kids, or it could be our parents who might have a walker that needs to access the building. So kind of thinking of it from that perspective, where really when we're doing intentional design and when we're looking at these types of things, it really can benefit everybody at all life stages. And I think also finding a way in which whatever your hobby or your passion is, and finding ways in which it might be able to tie into people with disabilities. So it could be mentoring, it could be volunteering time, it could be being a donor. And certainly with our art studio opening up, there's lots of opportunities. So if it's building, or if it's woodworking, or if it's painting, or if it's sewing, or if you just want to have a good time, if you just like to laugh and enjoy the company of others, to be able to come and spend some time there. We also I think we're blessed in Hendricks County to have corporations that provide opportunities for their employees to volunteer. So I think that's another opportunity, is to be able to find an opportunity there, to be able to connect with, whether it be youth or adults who may be having some challenges, and to come alongside them.
Great.
I want to skip ahead in the questions to, if you could pick one dream outcome for Sycamore Services 5 years from now, what would it be?
That's a great question. I think that it is beyond, sort of expanding awareness of Sycamore Services. I think it is adding to the counties in which we're connecting with. Mm-hmm. We're in 37 counties now, but there's also some gaps, and related to those gaps is that means that there might be some families that aren't receiving services that could really benefit from it. So being able to really sort of narrow that gap of needs and service, and finding ways to be able to connect in the next 5 years. And I love being able to do that in a creative way. So, if that means doing a micro business to be able to have an opportunity for people with disabilities to get employment, or if it means looking at housing a little bit differently, or transportation a little bit differently, so that people can access their community and live as independently as they can for as long as they can. These are some opportunities. So I see it in 5 years, there's going to be additional programs and additional areas in which we're serving.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So talking about the expansion and those kind of things, let's talk about funding.
Yeah.
One, were you guys affected at all at the State House last year with some funding cuts?
Yes. So there's several ways in which we're affected, and I think we'll continue to be affected. Certainly, it's no secret Medicaid is a big state budget, and many of the supports and services are paid through Medicaid waivers in Indiana for individuals that we're support. Not all, but a good portion of the individuals. So, for example, the ABA rate is now targeted for a 6% reduction, and so I think that we at Sycamore Services are going to be able to keep wage rates for our employees the same while absorbing that 6%. It's not going to be easy, so we're going to need to sort of pump up our fundraising to be able to support that gap. There's also an opportunity, I think, for us to advocate for what's going on with the adults side of things. My understanding is the state of Indiana is going to be having waiver changes about every 6 months. And right now, as we're recording this, there is some waiver amendments that are up for public comment. And I see it that sort of bringing the community together to say, if this is an area of importance with you, speak into these public comment opportunities, because I do believe that we're going to see more bundling and more reduction of services. The things we've seen in the last few months is reduction of rec therapy for individuals on monthly caps. Behavior supports have changed, so we provide behavior management supports also, and that's been reduced and affected. Really, voc rehab has been, much tighter on their budget, and so that makes us, as a nonprofit operating in our area, just really look at how are we supporting, and really kind of bringing things back into line with what is available through the funding. So I do see that there's going to be lots of restriction and plans to be able to work with a tighter budget. We are very much passionate about our mission and being able to serve, and so we and my team truly are going to find opportunities to be able to continue to serve in positive ways, and being creative and finding more corporate partnerships and more opportunities for fundraising to be able to kind of fill that need. But it's going to be, I think, a tough couple of years here for us to be able to withstand what's going to happen on the state budget side.
Agreed. I think we're seeing it across the board. We're seeing it in deaf education. We're seeing it everywhere. I will make a shout out, Ed Clare, Representative Ed Clare, who has been a huge advocate, is leaving the State House.
He is.
And I cried. He's also a very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
But so if people want to learn more about what is happening at the State House, do you guys have that on your website?
We do.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. And we've made some posts also on social media for LinkedIn and Facebook also that kind of is following some of our bills. We'll continue to do that for education. And so we do have, I think, growing number of advocates. I think of Representative Becky Cash, Rob Green. They have some personal connections also, but also I appreciate the Ed Clare kind of call out there, Representative Ed Clare. So he's done so much for our community and being able to author bills, and he has been really intentional about learning about how the state can support and how this all impacts, and not all of our representatives do. And I'm not trying to say anything negative, but he really has gone above beyond. He really has. And so that sort of spirit and energy, I think, is going to be very much missed. And so I also hope that other representatives kind of see that, how he has, how he had sort of pursued that, and hopefully come in line to be able to say, I saw what Ed Clare did, and how can I kind of learn more about what's happening with people with disabilities and just be more educated. And so certainly for Sycamore Services and other agencies like us, it's also our role to provide some education for our representatives and legislators as well.
So how else can our listeners get involved and support? Anything else?
I think we've kind of touched on, I think just finding opportunities to support us, whether it be through an event or volunteering, finding a way to donate. It could even be donating fabric to our, art studio. I think that as we head into the spring season, people are going to be like purging some items. And I think that sometimes craft items are things that people are purging. And so, hey, think about us, when it comes to, if you're purging anything, or if you know of someone who is, and if you're going to donate them anyway, bring them over to the art studio, and we can make good use of it in our collaborative artwork. So,
do you guys have a wish list out there?
We do. I'm trying to remember where they've posted it. Yeah,
that's awesome. Okay,
it probably is on our website.
All right,
double check that, but yes.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, Jocelyn, I'll let you wrap it up.
Wait, I do have one more question.
Okay.
Do you guys do the transportation?
We do. Yeah.
We didn't talk about that at all.
So we do public transit, and in Hendricks County, we do it in partnership with Hendricks County Senior Services.
Yes.
And so we have, constant meetings on how is it that we can provide public transit. So, if I back up a little bit, Sycamore Service didn't start as a public transit entity, but really it's because people we support have that need to be able to access their community that we got involved with them. So in Hendricks County, we have that partnership, but then in Morgan County, we do it. So just us, just Sycamore, without a partner entity. And we certainly couple up with Indigo as we can, especially I think through that Plainfield area and CERTA. And then beyond that, beyond public transit, we also have vehicles in our areas, and whether it be Vanderburgh County or Marion County, to really kind of be specific about the individuals we're supporting so that they can access the community. So we may have team members, for example, who may not be able to transport an individual who utilizes a wheelchair. And so for us to be able to get access to accessible vans and vehicles to be able to, provide that opportunity for our team members to then get individuals access is really important as well. So I think our fleet is around 60 vehicles. So that's huge. Yep. And they're used every single day. Good question.
Okay, final question.
Yeah.
One piece of advice, business advice, personal advice, yada yada quote that you live by.
Yeah. I think if I'm ever kind of in a situation where I have to make a tough decision, I generally will take pause and I really honestly ask myself this question: what is the right thing to do by the people we're supporting? What is the right thing to do by the families that we're supporting? And if there's ever, so as I'm looking at a decision to say, do we keep this program or do we not? Or do we do this or do we take this opportunity or do we not? It really is coming to that root of what we do and why we do it. So if there's anything that I could share, it would be that question. And I think that means something different for each person. But I think whenever we're in a place where we need to kind of take pause, just really checking in with your heart and your head to say, is this really the right thing for what needs to happen for our ultimate vision to be able to move forward?
That's good.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. All right. We will see you again next week. Thank you.